Welcome back, sports fans, to another episode of Pez's Picks. I'm Jeff Hartman, joined by Pez, the man with the picks. What's up, Pez? How's it going?
Jeff, we're in the wrong biz. We should be doing a meteorology podcast. I started out 3 days ago. The forecast down here, Atlantic City, Cape May beach area, was 19 to 24 inches.
Yeah.
Two days later, we're now looking at an inch and a half. What? In the gambling world, we're judged by these numbers. These people get honest. Jeff. We
Oh, yeah.
lose, we win. The 24 inches. That's like a 24-point spread. And you're like, they're going to win by, 1 to 24. What the hell kind of business is this? With all this technology, all these computers, AI, satellites, there's people in space right now, Jeff. These people have the balls to go on the internet, TV, and tell me they have a 24-inch window. Well, who's not firing somebody? Yeah, how could you be that off? I don't know. But apparently we're getting snow. The last I'm here now is 5 to 8, Jeff. So 5 to
Okay.
8, I'm still thinking inch and a half. I go by this Apple. I believe Apple owns everything at this point. So I think they control the weather as well. I think we're going to get about an inch and a half. Ice, though, let's be careful. Not to joke around about. You can't be driving around. Can't be doing donuts in the ice. I mean, ice and snow, nothing to mess with. Stay home. We got great football Sunday. Couldn't be a better Sunday, Jeff. Winners on Pez's picks. I can't wait.
Yeah, and here in Maryland, they're calling for, I think, upwards of 14 inches of snow. So we're supposed to get pounded where I am here in Western Maryland. So it's going to be interesting. But we're not here to talk about meteorology. We're here to talk about sports. And what we learned from last week is always where we start off. Last week, college football, only one game, the national championship. And I'll give you credit. You rode Miami every step of the way and even took them +9, almost had an outright win if it weren't for a hell of a play by Fernando Mendoza. But they still stay within the 9-point spread. You win 1-0. We finish college football 30-16-1. What do you think, Pez?
One of the better college seasons we had in a long time, Jeff. You've been doing this with me a while. College is wild. Somehow college this year was more of a stable investment than the NFL. And I don't know why. I have suspicions. Maybe we'll punch the numbers in the offseason, the new kickoff, whatever. But no more transfer portal with COVID guys being 27. Indiana kind of benefited from that. They had the oldest team, I believe, ever in the national championship. I think the average age was over 24. So I think they benefited from that a little bit. We liked Miami in August, going all the way back. Went through a couple bumps in the road. Carson Beck, couple personal issues. But at the end of the day, that Curt Cignetti, one of the greatest coaches I've ever seen. His team wasn't as good. If you look at the numbers of that game, Miami, more yards, more passing yards, more rush yards, more offensive touchdowns. The better team lost that game, and Cignetti outcoached them. When you give up a block punt, that's all on coaching. There's no player that's given up a block punt. That means Indiana did their research. They waited for their opportunity. There was some sort of breakdown. They overloaded in some area. A block punt for a touchdown. We talk about it a lot. Pez's picks. Pick six, any special team touchdown. Your chances of winning that game drop, incrementally. You're probably down 25%. To cover the spread was a miracle, I think. But I feel bad for Miami. I think their team played their ass off. First half, a little bit of a probing situation. That's a new college football thing. Nobody wants to lose game in the first half. First halves were kind of boring. I guess it's conservative play. Second half, Miami outplayed them, except for that block punt. And good for Indiana. One of the greatest college teams ever. Indiana Hoosiers. And maybe, I'm going to say top 5 greatest coaches ever. That's Cignetti. He beat Miami with a better defensive line. They had a better offensive line. A quarterback, I think that's about a split. Better running back. Malachi Tony, I don't think Indiana had a player like that, and they end up beating that team, and God bless them. An enjoyable game, the best college season, the best national championship we've seen in a long time. An exciting game, Jeff, down to the wire.
Yeah, it was. And, obviously I was pulling for our pick to come through. And even when Mendoza dove into the end zone, I was like, that's all right. We're still going to cover. Well, we still
going to cover.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm still surprised at that line. I think a lot of that was based on action. And what was interesting, we had a lot of money come in on Miami. It hovered 8.5 to 9. And then 24 hours before kickoff, a dump of money came in on Miami. and that line dropped to 7.5. I still think, based on the data, Indiana should have been given a little bit more, but they're great with these lines, right? I mean, I think that game came down to, was it 6 points, 27-21, I believe it was, and a missed field goal from Miami as well. So that game could have been a little tighter. A fantastic championship, and I don't know if you saw Mendoza's brother transferred, I believe, to Miami, right? I believe
Did he?
I think he might have. I just read. I might be getting that wrong, but he's gone, and the quarterback shuffle has begun, and I don't know if Indiana ever gets back there. Maybe they do. We'll find out. Is Cignetti that great of a coach, or did he have his glorious, last 2-3 years? We'll see. But without a doubt, one of the greatest college football seasons ever. 16-0. The guy beat some big time teams. I think that was their number 6 team in the top 25 they beat. And Miami, Cristobal, what a year. I mean, that brought the Hurricanes back. For the last 15 years, they've been a laughing stock. I mean, about equal to Indiana. That team's back on the map. They should be. Jason Taylor, great job coaching that defensive line. And I think college football is better when you have the Miami Hurricanes playing good football. They're kind of like the Dallas Cockroaches. They're crazy, Joe. It's like bad guy. You need a bad guy. Miami's always been the bad guy team, like the Cockroaches, so we need that, and I can't wait. I can't wait for next year. I believe Notre Dame plays Miami. I believe it's like November 4th or something, and I saw Freeman on the pregame. What a great night. Notre Dame, Miami, we go back to the 90s with those epic games, and I can't wait for that season. College football did everything right this year. NFL should take a page from that book. Everything they did was right, from selection, scheduling. I loved every bit of it, Jeff. It was my favorite college football season maybe of my life.
All right. Well, speaking of the National Football League, what we learned last week is that sometimes you get some bad beats for sure. And we had those. We went 1-2 in the divisional round, dropping us below the 500 mark, I should say, 29-30. We just can't figure out these playoffs. Pez, what's going on?
We're using the same system we use when we win games, Jeff. And I think, aside from Seattle blowing out San Fran, which we hit, there's something going on for these games to be all close. I mean, this isn't natural in the NFL, where you have games being decided the final 2 minutes. I think it's over 40% of games this season. I don't know if it's kickoff, ball being started on the 35 or the 40, which definitely changes football. I think they got to take a look at this. Starting from the 20 compared to the 35 or 40. We looked at that. I don't know if it was last year before. Incredibly different scoring percentage once you're 10 yards closer to the other team's end zone. So was this intentional? I kind of think it was. Kind of keeps quarterbacks into the system more, keeps games closer at the end. Starting at the 20 in the 2-minute drill and starting at the 35, I mean, incredible. You three first downs, you're kicking field goals. So I don't know. That Buffalo game, Jeff, it's been pissing me off all week. I think I'm done talking about it after today. That was a catch. If that's in the end zone, that's a catch, right? I mean, if you hold the ball and you hit the ground in the end zone, that's a catch. I mean, what the hell is going on in the NFL with this instant replay? Let's get rid of replay, Jeff. That was a robbery beyond robbery, and we all had a conspiracy theory that they wanted Josh Allen to get there. Apparently they didn't, Jeff. I can't believe that call was turned in that way. And, we have Denver now going in with a backup quarterback. Perhaps the worst Super Bowl we're ever going to have, Jeff. As a Philadelphia Eagles fan, I hate all these teams, Jeff. I hate them all. I hate all 4 of them left. We have picks in both games. We've got some interesting numbers. I mean, backup quarterbacks tend to have a spark for 1 week. That's a dangerous thing we're looking at. And that, I believe that's driven the line down. Denver was getting 5.5 down to 4.5. So a little bit of a dangerous situation playing in Denver. Incredibly good stats once you get into the later in the season. It's going to be 23 and snowy. Not that New England isn't used to it, but tough place to play. You're about 5,000 feet elevation. Takes the wind out of you. When we look at Rams, Seattle, I looked at the Rams. I'm shocked at this. 5 out of their last 6 weeks, they've been on the road. And multiple cross-country trips, Jeff. That has got to wear out an aging team. Last week's game, I think they had 70-some, 80-some plays on offense and defense, both going into overtime. Now you're going back to Seattle. They haven't traveled in probably over a month at this point. Great defense, but I still think the Rams have the best offense. I mean, you look at Stafford, you look at the numbers this guy's put up, 46 touchdowns to 8 picks. I mean, that's like Hall of Fame numbers right there. You look at his receiving core. Can that team continue to play at that level? Can that team continue to play in close games? Can they do it in Seattle? They've split this year, close games on both sides. And the big question, I keep hearing people tell me they're jumping all over the Rams because Sam Darnold is Sam Darnold. I don't know, Jeff. 2 years, this kid's played pretty well. He's looked like a playoff quarterback. He's looked like a guy that can win a Super Bowl. Kemba Walker, can he carry the load alone now that they've lost their other running back? A lot of good stories going into this game. We've got 2 picks on Pez's picks. We really punched the numbers on this one. We're feeling good, Jeff. Now, if they both come down to the 2-minute drill, once you get a 2-minute drill, forget about it. You're looking at coin toss games, right? And, that's something that we generally haven't seen in the NFL throughout the last 20, probably 30 years in gambling. The better team could run the ball, control the clock, shut the game down. We're just not seeing that anymore. Once a team wants to score points, they're willing to risk an interception. They're gunning that ball like I've never seen. And I don't know if it's D-backs being called a little bit tighter or what have you, but makes it a little bit more difficult gambling. But we're going to finish the season on a winning note, Jeff. We're going to win these 2. We're going to win the Super Bowl. We'll get above 500. We get a bunch of prop plays coming too. You know how much we like those.
Oh yeah, for sure. Super Bowl after the stupid Pro Bowls out of the way, then we'll definitely be talking about that. But the NFL is a tough nut to crack, and especially when you think about Jared Stidham quarterbacking the Broncos. No one knows what to expect there. Drake May still a young quarterback. How does he get impacted by the AFC Championship spotlight? I think the NFC side is must-watch television. A divisional game in Seattle. It's going to be fantastic. I think the first game is going to suck, to be honest with you. The Broncos, Patriots, I think is going to be tough to watch. I think it's going to be very low scoring. What's the total on that game, by the way?
Well, the total on the New England game, 42 and a half. On the second game, we're at 46 and a half.
42 and a half. I mean, do you have Jared Stidham playing 2 good defenses? I'm thinking under there. I'm not saying it's official play, but man, are you agreeing or disagreeing?
Once you get into this round, it's very difficult to predict totals. You think they're going to be right on, and they usually are. But last week, that Denver Buffalo game, we almost got to 70 points. So, and I think this year especially, it's been very difficult to bet totals with that kickoff roll. If you're up, 8 or 9 points, kick the ball in the end zone in the old days, ball on the 20, team's going to go for a touchdown. Generally, the clock's going to run out. Caleb Williams throwing that stupid bomb, Jeff. That's another thing. What? That's the luckiest team in the history of the league, Jeff. That was such a bullshit play. He had no idea where that ball's going. What kind of? I'm picturing that in my head. Gamblers always remember the plays that get screwed on. We lose by half a point, but I think totals are a bad bet this year. I don't think there's any consistency in scoring and defending. Such a smaller field, starting at 35, maybe the 40 on a bad kick. When we talk about Stidham, Jeff, shocking statistics here. This year, his numbers are 1 throw attempt for -1 yards. Pretty shocking, right? Now we go back to last year, 4 throws for 5 yards. So this guy's seasoned, Jeff. This guy hasn't just been sitting on the bench. He's had 5 throws in 2 years. Having said that, you go back to 2023, he got some action. 2022, the guy was with the Raiders and, threw for 4 touchdowns. So a big dude. They've had all week to prepare. We have a good coach in Peyton. The guy's crafty. I think I'm not a huge Bo Nix guy. I think Bo Nix, serviceable quarterback, a guy they've gotten more out of than I ever thought they would. 25 touchdowns to 11 picks, under 4,000 yards. So he's been serviceable. But if we look at, what he's done, 3 touchdowns last week, his best game going all the way back, since Green Bay and, mid-December. But I don't think Denver needs Bo Nix to win. I'm not saying that that's going to, make our play become Denver, but I don't think Bo Nix is the deciding factor in this situation. I don't know if the line would be too much different. I don't think Denver was going to be favored even with Bo Nix. I really don't. I think New England comes in too complete a team, too good of a defense. Offense is clicking. Say what you want about Drake May, but, and I had suspicions about this kid too. He's been fantastic. 31 touchdowns, 8 picks, over 4,000 yards, closing on 4,500. The guy's been great. So, and I think Mike Vrabel is a coach that's shown everybody coaching matters, right? The New England stunk for years now since Brady left, changed the culture, changed the defense, no mistake football they play. And, Denver has a little bit of that too. So I, I'm not sure that Stidham's going to be the reason that Denver's not in this game. I really don't. I wouldn't be surprised if he had a good game.
But everything you just said made me think take the under, but that's just me.
Perhaps.
All right, so that moves our overall record for the football season to 59-46-1. And for those of you that are looking for Pez's championship weekend picks, go to Pez'sPicks.com. Make sure you check out all of our social media handles as well. Find us at Pez's Picks. We're on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, or X, whatever. Pez's Picks is where you'll find us. Pez, before we get to the top 5 and round out the show, something that happened last week that I wanted to get your take on. We actually talked about it briefly after we ended the show. And I was like, man, we didn't talk about this. It's golf. Golf is back. The PGA Tour is underway again. Scotty Scheffler, as we're recording this on Thursday, is throwing up birdies like crazy in California. But still, I want to talk about this LIV door opening PGA Tour mess. What's your take on all of this that's going on in the world of golf?
Well, first off, Jeff, Chris Gotterup, big winner last week in Honolulu.
New Jersey native.
I love him. I mean, the guy's a huge guy, 6 foot, probably 230. Looks like a football guy. Should have been on that Ryder Cup, Jeff. A guy, I think, going into the future, our kind of guy. He's like America's Jon Rahm. I'm feeling with this guy. I think it's his 4th win. Shockingly good there. Tough to win in Hawaii. I'm glad that Brooks Koepka's coming back on the tour, Jeff. You know how I hated LIV. I detested that. They're a waste of time. It's a money grab. This is everybody a waste of time. Kind of screwed up golf for me. My wife probably upset. I don't watch as much golf. Now we're getting more of these guys back. I think they need to look at, too, some of these signature tournaments. I don't like that very much myself either. Let's have good purses. Maybe you set a standard every week. The winner gets $5 million, something like that. But to go from $1.5 million to these big purses where the big names aren't playing, I don't like it. I think that takes away from what golf's always been. I like putting on a golf tournament like today where they're in La Quinta.
Yeah.
You don't know, is Scotty playing? You don't know, are the big guys playing or not? But
Scotty's playing. Come on.
Well, of course he's playing in this one. I believe it's a signature tour, right? I mean, or
no,
signature.
It's not. It's not a signature.
Okay. But I liked that you're going to have a sprinkling of stars out there.
Sure.
Phil would always play this California swing, Tiger would. And so I think we need to get back to a little bit. Koepka, I hope his form gets better. I hope he's a player. But that offer, what's Jon Rahm going to give back $100 million to LIV and go, I quit, I'm going to go back over? I mean, that offer was really only made to Koepka. I think these other guys are under contract still, I think. Right?
Koepka got out of his deal. He got out of his deal. His deal
ran out, didn't it? I think
it was through 2026, like Bryson. He and Bryson went over at the same time.
Okay,
he got out of his deal with LIV.
Okay. All right. Well, I like it, Jeff. Let's bring everybody home. Not to get too political. Saudi Arabia, it's not the most up and up country here, right? So we're allowing them to tap into our professional sports over here. The Saudis, they have enough money. I don't think they need to get involved in this, but I love this West Coast swing. And, this week, these are courses that look like a regular guy could go out and play. I'm sure they're going to be at Torrey Pines. I think that's coming up soon.
That's the Farmers, and that's Brooks' first tournament of the year back on the PGA Tour. That's at Torrey Pines, yeah.
I've walked that course a little bit. I've been to La Jolla a couple of times, San Diego. But it's not beautiful as much as, and I think Atlantic City Country Club here in Jersey, it's almost like they did nothing. The course is made to go along the coast, so you really don't have to do anything. It's a simple but incredibly hard because you're distracted by the water. You got the wind. I love it, Jeff. I love the West Coast Tour. I love golf, as you know, and we'll be gambling. What else do we have to gamble on? We do have the Olympics coming up, Jeff. We're going to be betting on that too.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't we? What other wiser investment can you make to bet on people putting sticks on their feet and going over ice or snow? Fantastic, Jeff. We're going to be all over that.
I'm going to tell people listening right now, maybe you just found us or whatever. If you want betting advice, go for the what is the event that you've been keeping tabs on, this Scandal?
Oh my God!
What is the event that they have the long skis? And
It's the ski jumping, Jeff.
Yeah,
This guy's
you've
put
been
extra.
tracking these ski
Unbelievable.
jumpers cheating for almost the entire calendar year. You got the inside edge.
They were some sort of Scandinavian, Chef. I don't know if it was Norwegian or Denmark. Now I sound like Trump still in Greenland here, but the most honest people were packing material, extra cloth in their crotch, Jeff. And this wasn't for looks or to look like more of a man, to gain more flight, kind of a crotch flap. And they caught them, Jeff. They checked these suits. They install in the suit meters that show if you unsewed them. I guess these Scandinavians, these Norwegians, have master seamsters or something, Jeff, like the guy that fixed Woody in Toy Story 2. And they pack extra material in the crotch. These guys won championships. I don't know if they're in the Olympics. I don't know if they're banned, but we'll be betting on everything, Jeff. You have to. We got some great stories coming out of the Olympics. My only hope, I don't know about this, will Snoop Dogg also be at the Winter Olympics? He's got to be, right? It's in Italy. Is there a better Olympic venue than Italy? I don't know, Jeff. I don't know. Maybe every Olympics should be in Italy. Or my dream to ski in Cortina, where they're going to have the ski events. It's like retirement, big mountain Alp skiing, Jeff. I can't wait to do it. The family tells me they want to go tour Italy. My kid's Italian. He wants to go. I want to go to Rome. Let's just go skiing, Jeff. Right? Well, I can look at the other crap on the internet. I can look at a picture of it. I don't want to wait in line. I can't wait. We got about 2 weeks, and it's going to happen. So fantastic stuff. We'll catch some live action. The hockey's great. I can't wait for the hockey.
U.S. Canada is just bound to happen. Just
Bring
get
it.
ready. It's going to be
Bring
good.
it, Jeff. I wish it was the Russians, though. It was better fighting them. But hey, we'll take the Canadians, even though I love Canada. It's my second favorite country other than America.
All right, Pez, you ready for the top 5?
Let's let it rip, Jeff.
All right, go for it.
Pez's picks, top 5 of the week. Number 5, the NFL playoffs. Exciting. It's not number 1, Jeff, because we've talked about this. We don't like the changes that have been made to the kickoff. I think it's made gambling on a little bit more difficult, but it's been exciting. NFL playoffs keeps us going through the winter. Birds will be in there again next year. Lock it up on that. Number 4, Jeff, Mike Vrabel. I mean, is there any more manly coach in the history of the league? I thought Dan Campbell was a man. Mike Vrabel, I believe, could be playing this week in Denver. The guy's fit. He took New England, who was the best team in the history of the league. Then they went to crap. Changed the dynamic of that team. Probably the best coach in the league right now. Number 4, Mike Vrabel. Number 3, Jeff, the greatest snack for watching games, the Funyun, Jeff. The Funyun is it's an organic snack, Jeff. It's a vegetable. I believe it's an onion. You can't beat the Funyun, Jeff. It's good for the whole family. My kid eats them. That's where we give him his vegetables. Number 3, the Funyun. Number 2, Lindsey Vonn, Jeff, who famously dated Tiger Woods, and I think dumped him, which is pretty amazing, right? That she took the big cat down. The greatest female skier of all time, has the most worldwide wins, not the most medals, most worldwide wins, has a gold, 3 Olympic medals. This will be Olympics number 5, Jeff. 41 years old in ski racing. That's like being 75 or 80. Has a titanium knee, Jeff. Her knee was so destroyed, the entire knee is titanium. She goes back out for the tour last year. She's winning events, Jeff. Now the drama behind this, her and Michaela Schifrin, I know a coach that works with them. I don't want to drop his name and probably get in trouble, but they have to get separate locker rooms. They hate each other so much, which I also find, we got a little drama, a little reality show. Lindsey Vonn, maybe the greatest female athlete ever, Jeff. 5 Olympics in downhill skiing, your knees just fall apart. She's crashed. She's had this life of celebrity back on. I'm pulling for a gold for her. She has a chance to win a gold, Jeff. Lindsey Vonn, number 2. And number 1, we always have to give it back, Jeff. I'm Irish. The food in Ireland stinks. In a little town called Hamilton yesterday. It's in between Philly and Atlantic City. It's probably the most Italian town in America. They sell blueberries there. You got a lot of blueberry farms. The cannoli, Jeff. Straight from Hamilton. You ever have a cannoli, Jeff? You get them down in Maryland?
Yes.
The cannoli, the greatest Italian dessert ever. It's got some sort of, as they say, ragout cheese. This one's dipped in chocolate. Bagliani's Market, Hamilton, New Jersey. You're not going to get a better Italian market in America, Jeff. Hands down. Thank you, Bagliani's. Thank you, as they call it, Hamilton. The cannoli. Get a cannoli, get a bag of Funyuns. Strap on, the feed bag, and let's get going on Sunday. And we got the Olympics coming, Jeff. God bless it. Number 1, the cannoli. I love the Italians. I love my wife. Love you, wife.
Oh my gosh. He's stuffing his face. He's eating Funyuns. I am not standing by these decisions in terms of eating habits in any way, shape, or form. As someone who definitely watches what I put in my body, this is not approved by me. But
Classy food, the cannoli, Jeff. You just like saying it. Give me a cannoli. There's a Tony Soprano kind of line there.
there you go. All right, Pez, man. Well, you've got a mouthful of food. I'm going to send this thing out. Pez, enjoy the games this weekend. We'll talk next week. Take it easy.
Later.